Hello everyone and welcome to CMST 488. This semester we have the new Lab Broker virtual desktop and applications available to you that have been developed specifically for this class. This environment includes all the software that you'll be using in the course, including Node.js, MongoDB, and Visual Studio Code. You'll notice in the assignment description for projects 1 through 4, there's a number of steps included to install the required software on your own machine. Since we have these labs, these steps are now optional and it's recommended that you use the Lab Broker environment instead. I'll be walking through setup in this video, and there are help guides available in the class. If you do run into any problems with the lab, please reach out and we'll get you the support needed. Each of the projects in this class includes starter files that you will need to download and work with in order to complete the work assigned. Let's get started by downloading each of these sets of starter files while I introduce you to the lab environment. To access the virtual lab from inside the classroom, select Content and scroll down to the virtual lab environment. Select Virtual Lab Access. In here, you will need to provision your lab the first time you use it by selecting the Allocate Lab button under your assigned CMST 488 Resources tab. This typically takes anywhere up to 5 minutes to complete, and once your lab is ready, you will be able to click on the Connect button to access it. On the desktop, you'll notice icons for Visual Studio Code and MongoDB Compass, which you'll be using in the various projects you'll complete this semester. To help you get started, let's download the starter files for each of the projects. In Project 1, select Description and Requirements and copy the GitHub link under Step 2. Note if you're using the lab, you can skip Step 1 entirely as you'll not be installing any software. Back in the lab, browse to the GitHub location for Project 1 and select Code and download zip. Each of the projects are named in a similar way, so you should be able to update the URL for projects 2 through 4 and download their respective files. Once downloaded, you will want to copy these to an easy location in your documents. Copy the files across here, and for each, you will need to unarchive by right-clicking and selecting Extract All. Here I like to rename and save each folder together so they're easily accessible. You can also rename these files to make it easier to access and review later. Let's take a look at the starter files for the first project. When you open VS Code for the first time, you'll likely get a prompt that warns you that you are in restricted mode. For the projects we'll be working on, you will need to change this to trusted by selecting the trust button. You can then go ahead and close this tab as you will not be prompted for it again. Next, select the folder button on the far left and click Open Folder. Select Documents and Project 1 or whatever you named your project folder. If you do get a prompt asking if you trust the authors of the files in this folder, please be sure to click Yes. You should now see all of the starter files for Project 1 on the left-hand side. Select View and Terminal to open a new terminal window for your project. Next, we're going to enter the command npm installed as detailed in Step 2 of Project 1. npm install will fetch all of the libraries needed to run this project, which are defined in packages.json file. You will also notice a new Node modules folder that has been created with these libraries. To run your project, you'll need to enter the command npm run dev. However, since this project is currently incomplete, you most likely hit errors as shown here. Control and C will cancel out for you. When you do complete Project 1, your finished work should result in a workable web server with a health check page, a page delivering a static HTML file, and a mock API. Please feel free to post in the class forum if you have any questions regarding setup, and I'll be happy to help.